everyone, this is Gail from Pretty Presets, and today I'm here with a Workflow Wednesday video edit. And when I saw this photo last night pop up, I really liked it. I like the baby's expression. It's interesting. It's kind of that tired look that you see in little kids sometimes, and I liked that. This photo is a little bit underexposed. And overall, I wouldn't say it's underexposed, but when I say underexposed, I'm looking at what is the focal point of this image. And this, to me, the focal point of this image is her face, and her face is a little bit underexposed to me. So I want to keep her face the focal point. And because there isn't a lot of other interesting factors in this photo, there's not any great color going on, there's no other people, there's nothing else that's super interesting to me. So I think a black and white edit would really help to pop her and really make her the focal point. So we're going to use the Pretty Presets Black and White Workflow Collection for this. I'm going to start by choosing one of these bases, and for me, I typically gravitate toward either base 3 or base 4. I do usually scroll through all of them, but base 3 and base 4 are the ones that I usually gravitate to. So I'm going to click on base 3 here, and that's going to make it black and white, just like that. The next thing I'm going to do is scroll down here and find Creamy Light. Creamy Light, I think, will add a little bit of brightness and a nice creamy tone to this black and white. Then I'm going to scroll all the way to the bottom of this set, and I'm going to click on Recover Clipping. When I click on that, you'll notice that all that redness up here that was showing me my highlight clipping is gone. You can turn that off and on over here at the top right of the histogram. If you don't want to see it, you're not going to see anything if I turn it off or on now. But if you have that redness in your photo and you don't want to see it, then just come over here and turn it down. To me, it shows me my highlights. So sometimes I want to see that. I don't want a lot of clipping in my photos, so I want to see sometimes the shadow and the highlight clipping. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use a couple of my brushes. Now I'm going to start by lightening her face because I really want to see her, and I want her to stand out a little bit more, and I think I need to brighten her up a little bit. Now as I do this, we're going to see a little bit of grain come up, and because this is a low resolution file, we're going to see pixels. We can't help that because these photos are downloaded from Facebook. They're not full resolution files. So we're just going to have to deal with it. I'm going to increase my brush size a little bit using the right bracket key, and I'm just going to brush on some of this brightness over her face. Now I think it's a little bit too much. So before I move on, I'm just going to come over here and I'm going to bring down the brightness a little bit. I don't know, I brought it down too far. Right there. Now we're going to come over here and brush it on her arm as well. Now when you brush brightness or something on a person's face, you don't want to neglect their other limbs because then it starts to look a little bit fake. So we're going to brush that on like that. Then I'm going to come over here and hit New, and I'm going to choose this PP. I didn't tell you the last brush I used, but it's PP Add Light. It's one of my favorites. It's from the Perfect Portrait collection. This one is also from the Perfect Portrait collection, and it's Skin Smooth, which I really like as well. I'm going to bring down my brush size. When I'm using skin smoothing, I don't want it to fall over their eyes, mouth, or nose generally. Now, there are a couple of caveats to that. But nostrils and lips and eyes, I generally want to be sharp. Okay, so I'm just brushing this on her face here. And I'll use my overlay here in a minute to find out if I've hit places that I don't want. I can turn on my overlay by hitting the O tool, or not the O tool, the O key. Let's come over here and click on Erase. I don't want this on her eye. Let's go back to my A brush, take off the overlay. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger here as I focus on her arm. I'm just going to brush this skin smoothing. It's going to help to get rid of a little bit of that grayness on her arm because we've lightened her arm. And I think that's better. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a radial filter. Radial filters can be used in Lightroom 5 and Lightroom 6. I'm going to move this over her face. Now I'm going to invert this, and I don't want it to add skin smoothing. So we're going to come up here and we're going to add light again using the radial filter. And I can rotate this just a little bit and then maybe pull it more oblong to get a little bit more of her arm in there too. Just rotate that radial filter. You'll see I got a little bit of clipping here on her face. I'm just going to leave that because I'm not sure that I can totally get rid of that with this in this low resolution file. So I'm going to do one other thing. I'm going to add a graduated filter, and this is from the graduated filter toolbox. I'm going to use the Basics Darken here, and I'm going to pull it up on the clothing and kind of just on the bottom of this photo, and I'm going to add even a little bit more darkness. And I'm going to add another one up here on top. I'm going to actually back this down though because I don't want quite that much darkness over the face. Not sure if it's a dad or a grandpa. I don't know, that's still maybe a little. Okay. So there we go. I've done most of the edits that I want to do to this photo. I like how the black and white makes her stand out a little bit more. I like how we've kept the emphasis there. The last thing I'm going to do is just for composition. I think that it will look a little bit better if we have her eyes lined up around these. And I've got my rule of thirds showing here, so I want her eyes lined up somewhere closer to the rule of thirds. We don't need that extra stuff on the side anyway. We really want to focus on her face. And so we can see a before and after here. I really like that edit. I like how that keeps the focus on her. It really brings out her in this black and white edit, and I think that's exactly what we wanted to do here. So thank you for following along, and enjoy more Workflow Wednesday videos here on the page.